Hey, what's up, guys? It's D. Just making another video. Thankfully, hopefully you guys can see me. I know this camera quality is not the greatest, but um, I want to talk about the importance of forgiving people, the importance of having a lot of grace and a lot of mercy on people. It's easy to point out the sin in others and forget that we are so sinful as a people. The heart is deceivingly wicked and deceitful. Um, you don't want to get to the point where you say, well, I'm doing good in these areas, and you start looking down on people because they sin differently than you. We all need the love of Christ. We all need Christ as our great mediator to the Father. And I never want us to get to the point where we're judging others. Oh, they have a drug addiction. Glad that's not me, because you may have hate in your heart, and your hate is no worse than that person's addiction. Your hate is no worse than that person's issue. We're all children of God. We all have flaws. In the book of Matthew 18, um, and in Matthew 6 and I think 14, that's when Peter asked how many times you're supposed to forgive. And then I'm not going to read Matthew 18, but if you guys want to go look at Matthew 18, um, um, the story of the guy who had the debt, 18 and 23, I think is the verse with that. But I just want to make a quick video. It's so important that we don't get to a point where we're looking down on others. I think forgiveness is arguably a top 5 things in the kingdom. If it was certain type of kingdom principles, certain type of kingdom things that you must have or must keep. Because if you don't want to forgive others, you cannot expect God to forgive you. If you know that you need grace and mercy from God, you know that you need to give grace and mercy to humans. Don't get to a point of self-righteousness that you begin to look down upon others. We're all weak as far as the nature of sin in the flesh, the nature of sin in mental health, the nature of sin in the body and even the spirit. We're all constantly battling something. So as a people, we have to walk out this faith walk with love, grace, love, grace, and mercy. And it's times when you have to admonish. It's time when you have to teach. It's time when you have to, do those things. But in general, you want to be very careful that you're not judging others because they sin differently than you. God will ultimately judge mankind. God will ultimately rule. He will ultimately give his decision. And as people, the best thing we can do is try to live as close to what God wants us to live, as close to what the Bible wants us to live as possible. But we cannot get into a position that causes us to judge people, condemn them. It's one thing to say, I don't agree with that, and I am staunchly against that as a person who is trying to please God. That's not wrong. Stand your ground. Speak against sin. Stand against sin. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is be careful that you're not pulling or talking about that speck, that log of wood in your brother's eye when you still have a big, 5-inch log in your own eye. We all need mercy, guys. We're all imperfect, corruptible beings that need the grace of the Almighty God to even walk this journey. So I just want to leave that soft video with you guys tonight. Please forgive people. Please forgive yourself. And ask God for mercy and grace to live this life. Because there's so many ups and downs. It's a marathon, not a sprint. 1 month you're going to think you're the greatest Christian in the world. That following month you're down in the dumps feeling like I've sinned against you, God. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Be blessed. Stay close to your loved ones. Forgive others. And love. God bless.